Hello guys, and welcome once again to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to cut this very really simple dress with ruffles on the side. So this dress is basically a normal booble gown with joining on the sides. This gown it's an off shoulder gown, meaning we will not be starting our measurement from the top of the shoulder. I'll be showing you how to go about that. The first thing we'll do now is, since it's an off shoulder gown, I've measured round her off shoulder. Her round off shoulder is 36. I'll be cutting the front and back exactly the same. There's going to be no difference. There's going to be no zipper. I'll be marking 36 divided by 4 is 9. This will enable us to cut the neckline. Her normal shoulder is 14. 14 divided by 2 will give us 7. This is 7. I'll just notch this point. From this point now, I'll get her sleeve length. Her sleeve length is 27 inches. So we have 27 on our fabric already, plus half an inch for folding. You can make yours 1 inch. For the off shoulder part now, rather than starting our shoulder measurement from here to mark our bust point and rest, I would come off my fabric by 4 inches. 4 inches, depending on how low your client wants, but it should not exceed 7 inches for your off shoulder. So I'll be coming off my fabric by 4 inches. From this 4 inches, I will mark her bust point, which is 9.5. I'll be using a lining to turn the inside of my neckline, so I'll just go ahead to mark my bust point 9.5. Her waistline is 16.5, and her hip is 25. Her hip length is 25 inches. So the next thing I'll do now is, now her neckline is this round off shoulder divided by 4. This is her neckline width. Her neck width, this is her neck width. It's past the shoulder because it's off shoulder. Since this is an off shoulder dress, her neck width is this 9 inches, so that it will fall into her hand. Normally we would have stopped at her shoulder width, her shoulder divided by 2, but no, we'll extend it because her round off shoulder is 36, which is divided by 4. We'll get our 9 inches here to fall into her sleeves. From these 4 inches now that we've taken out for the off shoulder, meaning this part of her body will be exposed. Since this is off shoulder, the neckline is already straight. There's no point creating any shape there. We'll just come to the end of the fabric where the sleeve is going to be and mark out at least 1 inch and connect with a ruler, with a straight ruler, from the neck width, which is that off shoulder, and connect with a straight line so that you have a slanting shape like this. The next thing you're going to do now is come to this neck width and notch it, so that when you're turning with your facing, you will not make any mistake. We're going to be joining here by half an inch. This is our sleeve now. You know that this is from the, we'll take it from the shoulder divided by 2, from the normal shoulder divided by 2, because this 9 inches is already part of our sleeves, and so we've gotten our sleeve length. This is our sleeve now. We're going to join half an inch. So like your normal butterfly booble gown, you will just connect from your sleeve length all the way down to the length of your fabric. So her fabric length is 59 inches, but I will add, it's 59 inches, but I'll add 2 inches for folding. And so from our sleeve length now, remember we're going to be cutting it straight down from our sleeve length. For this style now, I'm using 4 yards for her, 2 yards in front and 2 yards at the back. So this, my front piece, is 2 yards already. As you can see, from here to here is already 1 yard. This is 35 and it's folded, so this 2 yards for the front. Now don't forget, this is the bottom part. This is the bottom part, so we're going to just curving it. Go ahead to cut it now. I'll be showing you how to go about the shaping of this booble gown. You do the shaping of this bubble gown on the outside. That's where you do your shaping. Cutting the length now. This is the length. So as you can see now, this is the top. The measurement we have at the top is what will just roll straight down to the length of the dress. So to shape this outfit now, what is done is her bust measurement is 33 inches, and so we'll be adding 1 inch to each of the measurement because it's a free booble gown. 34 inches, which is here. 34 inches for the waist. Her waist is 28. Also note that you can decide to put a zipper in your booble gown. You can decide to, if you want it really fitted according to your shape measurement, your actual measurement, you can put a zipper so that you have it to be easy for you to put it on. But this one is not going to have a zipper, so we'll be making the measurement really loose. Her bust measurement is 33. We'll be using 34 here. Her waist will be using the same 34 inches, or we can use 33 for her waist measurement. And then for her hip measurement, we'll be using her hip measurement is 35. We can add 1 inch and make it 36 inch. When you are joining, when you open your fabric, on the outside of your material, you mark. You would have already marked your measurements. This is 36 here. This is 34 here, and this is for her bust. This is 34. Your joining is going to be like this on your fabric. On the right side now, where the outside is, where your fabric is going to show, you are going to just sew a straight. You just sew according to the shape you've measured. This is what you just sew on the straight line. When you put your front fabric to your back fabric, wrong side facing each other. Normally you sew right side facing each other so that when you turn it, it will be fine. But for this booble gown, you'll be sewing it wrong side facing each other. So you'll be sewing on the good side of the fabric. You just sew on a straight line, and then from your hip line now, you can decide to make an A shape. From your hip line, you can decide to make an A shape of about 20 inches. Of about 20 inches. An A shape so that you can be able to move. That's why I'm making it A shape of 20 inches. Then you can leave the bottom part of your fabric. You can decide to leave the bottom part of your fabric. You don't have to sew because it's a booble gown. It's free, it's open. So from your hip measurement now, you connect 20 inches. This is where you are going to end your stitching from. Your stitching is going to start one. So what I'll do now is to go and cut this, but I'll be giving it a little bit of allowance for joining. Remember, you cut your back and front together. Also for this style, you can decide to weave the edge where your sleeve is, the edge of your fabric, or you can decide to fold it in by half an inch, or you can decide to overlock the edge and fold inside, or you can decide to just overlock it and leave it till you place your ruffle, whatever is easiest for you. So remember I said you are going to cut the same for the back and the front. This is my front piece, this is my back piece, this is the off-shoulder neckline. I've gone ahead to notch the centers, the center front and the center back. So I'll join my sleeve now from this point now. So I'll go to my sewing machine. I'll take my fabric, wrong side facing each other. I'll join from the notch, from the off shoulder point now. I'll join to the sleeve length. from this off shoulder points that I know. That's why it is important to notch your fabric. So I'll join from one sleeve length, wrong right side facing each other. I'll join from one off shoulder point to my sleeve length with half an inch. From here now, from this point I notched. Remember that this off shoulder point now is the neckline. I'll be using facing to turn it. You can try to use your bias to turn it. So as you can see, I've gone to do the facing of this dress. I have pressed it, and this is how it looks like. This is the front, this is the back. It can be worn either ways. So what I did now was, on the center front, I went to press the center line, the midline. Remember, this is our sleeve length, this is our off shoulder point, this is the length of our sleeves. I'll go in and fold in here. You can decide to overlock it if you have an overlocker. This is the edge all the way down. As you can see, we've not joined any part, so I'll be showing you how to join the part now, making sure it's equal on the edges. What you do now is, this is the center line I have ironed. This is the center line. So from this center line now, remember we took 4 inches from our off, and so we marked our bust point. We marked our bust point because we've sewn half an inch now. So remember our bust point was 9.5, our waist 16.5. You mark it on this center, you mark it on your midline, and then her hip is 25 inches. 25 inches. This is our midline. So from this point now, her waist, we agreed that we'll be using 34. So this is our 34 here. We're going to be sewing on the front, on the good side of the fabric. This is the wrong side, the inside. We're sewing on the good side of the fabric. This is how this dress is made. Her hip is 35, but I'll be making it 36. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. So from this midpoint, I'll be marking 9 inches. 9 inches. On the other point, I'll be marking 9 inches. This is 9 inches here, so a total of 18 inches for back and front. So we'll be stitching here. So from this 34 inch now, I'll connect to her 36 inches, and from here now we'll mark 20 inches downwards. So this is 20 inches downwards. So from her hip measurement now, I'll use A shape and connect to as wide as I want it to be. This will enable her have enough working room. So if her hip was 36, I can make the fitting at the down of the gown, I can make it 40. So from the center line now, I'll mark 4 inch, I'll mark 10 inches. From this midpoint now, I'll place my tape rule and mark 10 inches. I'll place my tape rule. Or you can use any measurement of your choice. So me, I'll just be freehanding it from the hip line. I'm doing it all the way like this. This is the length, 20 inches from my hip line. Is where I'm going to stop my sewing, because it doesn't need to get to the down. It's a boo-boo gown. So this is my fabric that I have ironed from this midpoint now. From my center front now, point. So on one side we marked 9 inches, on the other side we mark 9 inches. On our waistline we agreed to use, we mark the same thing we have, we mark it with a straight line. We have 34 inches. We'll connect like this, and then we'll connect to our hip line, which is 36 inches. We'll connect like this. This is our waist point, so we'll connect to our hip point here, and then from our hip point we'll mark 20 inches down. That's the length of our stitch. From this hip point now, we'll just slant, we'll just give it a shape. So that there's ease while she's walking. And that is it. So now I'll go to my sewing machine. Don't forget to pin your fabric so it doesn't move. Don't forget to pin your fabric. So I'll go to my sewing machine now, and I'll stitch from here all the way to the bottom. So don't forget to pin it so it doesn't move. So at this point now, I've gone to sew my joining from our off shoulder neckline. This is our off shoulder. I've done the facing, and so from this point now, from this off shoulder point, that's the wideness. You measure your round sleeve measurement divided by 2. Our round sleeve measurement is around 10 inches. So from here now, 10 divided by 2 is 5 inches plus half an inch for ease. So from this point here, I start my sewing from here or from here, as you can see. Also note that you have to use a matching thread because you'll be sewing on the outside of your fabric. So as you can see, I've sewn it. Then from the hip line, I made the length of the stitch 20 inches from the hip line. I also did it for the other side. From the off shoulder measurement, I mark around sleeve measurement half an inch plus half an inch, and I start my stitching all the way down. So that's that for the main fabric. The next thing we'll be doing is the organza, the ruffle design. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.